many of us, myself included, wondered why would a man who failed, and I have no apologies for this, he failed abysmally in his first tenure. What was it that made him, even when you advised him against it, is it only the cabals or is it the aura of I want to remain president, or is it the hidden hands, quote unquote, the northern oligarch saying you must go and represent the north? What do you think was that thing that made him come back even when he knew he failed abysmally in the first tenure?
I think you should apologize to the northern oligarch because they did not support Buhari, and Buhari did not carry them along in his government. The Buhari's Cabal is a group of partly family members and and their associates who, even when we were trying to pressurize Buhari to contest election in 2015, they were mocking at us. They told us that Buhari was a serial failure. He would not win the election. But when Buhari ultimately won the election, they suddenly owned him. And I will tell you something that will surprise you. Throughout the campaign, I used to see our presidential candidate every day, 12 midnight, we review before I will leave. When he was declared president, I was in his office. When Jonathan called him, I was there. But that day that he was declared president, when I went to Buhari's house in Asoro Drive, I was blocked. That same day he was declared president, I was blocked. So I called the ADC, he didn't pick. I tried to reach out to those who were close to him, none of them picked. So I called somebody in Kaduna, and then the person now got to them, got to the president, and told the president-elect then that this was what happened. By then, I had already driven away from the house. I was about that runabout to take my way out when suddenly the president-elect called me, and I came back. So that was the experience I had on day one, and that signaled to me what was going to happen, despite all these obvious reasons and advice I gave him. He still contested. Let me tell you my personal experience. I would have been removed as a minister 7 days into office because we went for a state function, which I was the main man there because it was a sports event. I was presenting an award to the president, which I've received on his behalf. And when the president emerged, the late Abakari looked at me before very senior state officials, diplomats, and then looked at me and told the president, asked the president, why do you allow this boy to be wearing this type of thing? Then immediately I remember the advice given to me by my father that if a young man slapped you in your youthful age, retaliate immediately before people will intervene. Otherwise, when you grow old, he will repeat. So I didn't want the crowd which Abakari insulted me to disperse before I will address the issue. So I immediately told the president, before the same guest, that he should call his chief of staff to order. Because who told him that what he is wearing I'm happy with. I said, imagine somebody who is wearing 10 years that is meant to be 3 people's clothes. He is unhappy with me, who is wearing 2.5 years. I said, who told him that I'm happy with him? Wearing that is Babariga. The president should call him to order. So the president didn't say anything. He took his seat. We concluded the event. And then when he stood up to leave, he told Abakari, and these were his words, I have been warning you to stay clear of this boy, but you would not listen. This boy is smarter than you. Can you see how he has disgraced you? And by extension, I'm also affected because I also wear 3 people's clothes. And the president left. That was an act that was worthy of terminating my appointment as a minister. I'm bringing this to tell you the type of person Buhari is. But Buhari was happy because I gave it to him immediately in the public. Let me give you another simple event because since you are bringing this type of things, there was this same Cabal when wrote a book about Buhari, and then they were going to launch a book in ICC, and they invited so many multinationals, wealthy people to the book launch. Meanwhile, they didn't invite the president's wife. The whole thing was organized, orchestrated by the Cabal. They didn't invite the president's wife. And so when we were gathered at ICC, the president was looking very unhappy. So I came up in presence of the president. I saw the chairman of the organizing committee and I asked him, this crowd you organized here, was this Buhari's crowd? And he said, what do you mean? I said, majority of the people you invited here were the people who didn't want Buhari to be president. Where are the common people who scratched card, contributed money for Buhari to be president? Where were they? And then he told me that no, it was because of security. I said, they didn't kill him when he was campaigning. Is it now that president that will kill him here? I said, this book launch is not for Buhari and the masses of Nigeria. This one is a fundraising for you people. Would you believe me that after I said this to him, Buhari started smiling. When he went home, he told the wife, he said, you see, it's only Che Guevara that can handle these people. Because that's how he called me. So it's only Che Guevara. You can see what they did to me. So that's the type of person we are dealing with. He may feel pain. He may not like something, but he will not express it. I would have, as a person, resigned 6 months into office when I reported a case of monumental corruption. And this same Cabal were shielding those involved. But did you know why I couldn't resign? I discussed it with my best friend that I was going to resign. And then he mobilized our community against me. And they persuaded me to remain. So I asked them what was the reason why they would want me to continue in the government. And they told me that, look, even if there was nothing there, remain there because any day we are arrested and taken to police station, if you come, they will release us. And on the strength of that, I remain. So Buhari would have faced the same situation with this Cabal because they could have created in his mind the fear of the unknown, but it wasn't a northern agenda because the northern oligarchy did not like Buhari. I knew how I shuttled between Buhari's campaign and the northern establishment. They were scared of Buhari. They didn't want him to be president. But They had to swallow it because we mobilized the masses against them. And it was the masses that whipped the northern oligarchy into order. The fear of unknown that made them keep quiet to allow it to go. But Buhari's government was hijacked by a cabal. And I said it before. Buhari's cabal is made up, the agents in power was made up of unexperienced people. They were not properly schooled. They were naive. They were crude. That's why they were dipping their hands everywhere. So they were looting government money as a family heritage. But the current cabal we're having in place is a very sophisticated cabal. It's made up of elements that have been in power. They are also experienced in power. And so they are worse than the one we had before. And we may be into something very serious.